G'day guys and gal. One of the most climactic moments in all of Warhammer 40k is when Sanguinius and Horus had their final showdown, with Horus ruthlessly beating our Golden Hawkboy to death in one of the most horrific scenes in the entire heresy. Although Sanguinius put up a good showing, even beating Horus in his base form, as soon as Horus went Super Saiyan it was a painfully one-sided fight, with Sanguinius not even doing any genuine damage. Like, the lore that states Sanguinius left a chink in Horus's armor for the Emperor to exploit is completely false. The Emperor had to also cast off his emotions by this point and didn't even react to seeing Sanguinius' corpse, so you could argue that the fight was pointless and Sanguinius died for nothing. So that begs the question, did Sanguinius even have a chance at beating Horus? Was there any reality where he could have won, or at least had more... The fuck is calling me? Mate, I'm recording, what do you want?
Can I please come in for 1 second, bro, please?
Dude, I'm filming, come on.
I've got 3 minis to give to your audience.
Alright, come in, make it quick.
Dude, I want to give free minis to everyone.
Minis are not free, they're never free.
Nah, I'm serious. Trust me, watch this. So this month at Dice Dioramas, we're giving everyone from Silver and above a free Major Mini. We're also chucking in a Dice Diorama membership badge. Silver gets the Space Elf Longlooker, Gold gets Ra the Golden Sun, Diamond gets a King Orc, Emerald, for the true war gamers, will get a carry case with your emblem badge and Collector of Infinity. And Mythic, the currently discontinued True Scale King Orc. Insane value for anyone wanting to join and become a Dice Diorama member this month. All right, I'll give you back to Riley now. Majorkill.
So we're not going to tell them about the double entries?
Nah, I think they can just figure it out.
Alright, fair enough. Now get the fuck out of
Thanks,
here.
bro.
I've got a video to make. Yep, guys, Dice Dioramas, do a double entries, give away a free Major Mini. We're even giving away the 1/6 scale Abaddon, not that anyone cares about that by this point. Yeah, link will be below to sign up and join Dice now. Today we'll go over what if Sanguinius actually had a chance against his wayward brother, even if it just meant dealing a genuine wound before he was killed. Let's get into it. Destiny is a fickle thing in 40k. Fate and fortune are factors in the setting. Big factors. Many people can see the future. However, it is not a definite thing and fate changes all the time. Often trying to follow prophecies causes more issues than just ignoring it. Sanguinius had one of the most powerful foresights, which was also a massive curse, as his #1 vision was that of his own death at the hands of Horus. He would have witnessed himself being killed by Horus hundreds of times, with other future seers also witnessing a similar fate for him. Sanguinius actually used this knowledge of his death to do some extremely reckless things, such as take on titans and constantly one-man army that shit. He was a near unstoppable god during the heresy. I honestly don't think any single warrior would have a higher kill count than he did. Now here's where it gets interesting. In one of Sanguinius' many shitty visions of him getting clapped, he actually managed to reverse Horus's attack and kill his brother instead. It was only in one, but it did imply that there was a very slim chance that he could indeed beat his brother. Now was this just chaos taunting Sanguinius? Maybe, wouldn't be the first time, but there was indeed hope. There also were a few other implications that Sanguinius had a genuine shot at killing Horus. For example, when Angron and Sanguinius were fighting, Angron heard Horus psychically screaming in his ear to kill Sanguinius, almost like begging, as if there was genuine fear in his voice. Angron actually remarked that he found Horus pathetic in that moment, you know, just before Sanguinius tore Angron's brains out. Sanguinius also believed he had found a loophole in the destined death. See, time on Terra had stopped. The warp had suffused everything so much that it was constantly the same day, and the day refused to end. Sanguinius believed that this may actually have worked to his advantage. If it was his destiny to die one day, but the day never ended, then the destiny could not be fulfilled. I don't know the logic behind it, sounds a bit whack, but Sanguinius genuinely believed that it implied he could kill his brother or defy fate or whatever. Like, the dude seemed really confident. He was busting his balls, ignoring the agony of his wounds, ripping through Horus's army to desperately reach his brother. He didn't care about waiting for the Emperor or Rogol or anyone. He was desperate to have that 1v1. He had become infatuated with the idea of defying fate, so much so that it definitely clouded his better judgment. Now there is another thing to consider here. Sanguinius was in absolutely terrible shape when he fought Horus. He had been fighting for the entire siege of Terra and was beyond exhausted. He had just fought Kabunda, one of Khorne's greatest demons, then immediately fought Angron, who was considered unstoppable. He suffered a mortal wound from Angron during the fight which just wasn't healing. Like, it was even stated in the lore that he was most likely actually dying from that wound and it was constantly bothering him. To reach Horus, Sanguinius had to even abandon the Spear of Telesto, which is definitely the more powerful of the two weapons he wields. After After all, it can shoot fucking laser beams which smite evil. So you have an exhausted, mortally wounded dude with damaged armor, missing his primary weapon, about to go up against a fresh, chaos-empowered demigod. Like, fuck man. Even despite that, when they first clashed, Horus didn't use his god-given power and wanted to fight his brother as a Primarch, not a demigod. This is because Horus wanted to corrupt Sanguinius to his side, and he thought that appearing as the brother Sanguinius knew would help with that. However, Sanguinius was significantly more powerful than Horus expected, and Sanguinius was talking mad shit during the fight, and Horus also sensed the Emperor approaching. So after Sanguinius beat Horus and went for the killing strike, Horus went god mode and ended the fight pretty quickly. I mean, even when he was in god mode, Sanguinius still managed to dodge a few of the attacks, surprising Horus, but it was a painfully short fight with a short but excruciating death for Sanguinius. Now, as a side note, people are really adamant that without Sanguinius' sacrifice, the Emperor would not have defeated Horus. And this is me now genuinely asking you guys in the comments for sourcing and proof here, because while I know old lore said Sanguinius created a chink in the armor that the Emperor exploited, the end and the death straight up didn't include that. Sanguinius did not wound Horus, he did not breach his armor, the Emperor did not draw emotional strength from Sanguinius' death. In fact, the Emperor tried to force Sanguinius to stay on Terra while he faced Horus. He wouldn't have done it if he knew Sanguinius was the key to beating Horus. Like I've said, Sanguinius' death seemed pretty pointless before in terms of pure strategic value for the Imperium, and a bunch of people got butthurt about it. Yes, I know him facing his death was a huge part of his character, and you could argue that his death unleashing the Black Rage within the Blood Angels was a huge asset for the Loyalists, as it allowed them to basically rip through the traitors and turn the tide, but as far as I know, the outcome of the Emperor v Horus fight would have been the same if Sanguinius stayed on Terra. I'm happy for you guys to debate me in the comments on that one, but make sure you use up-to-date sourcing, not shit from 10 years ago that has been retconned. Anyways, I'm getting sidetracked. What if Sanguinius came to that fight with Horus fresh, not injured, armored, immaculate, and with his spear and sword, but still also burning with the desire to slay Horus and to defy fate? How would that have gone down? Well, Horus would have still maintained his Primarch form for the initial fight, however Sanguinius would be even more brutal. In the cannon fight, Sanguinius was so fast that he could fly up, dive bomb Horus, strike him, evade Horus's counter swing, and then fly away and rinse and repeat. Fresh and unwounded, he would be even faster, able to strike harder, more frequently, and even get in more blows per strike. Having the spear would make each dive bomb more deadly, and he would even be able to laser beam Horus in between dive bombs. It would really fuck Horus up. Now in their cannon fight, although Horus was holding back by not going god mode, he was not holding back in his Primarch form. If anything, it was still a chaos empowered Primarch form. Sanguinius was just genuinely outclassing him. In this theoretical instance, one of two things will happen. Either Sanguinius is able to speed blitz Horus so quickly and take Horus by such massive surprise that he is able to kill him before he goes god mode, which I find unlikely, or Horus powers up earlier than in canon. Perhaps instead of going full god mode, Horus just allows more and more power to creep into him until he can match Sanguinius. In canon, the main reason why Horus went god mode and killed Sanguinius was because the Emperor was close. He was trying to turn Sangi up until the last moment he could. Now while Sanguinius would put up an epic show, I just don't see how he could beat god mode Horus, even if he was at full strength. When the Emperor and Horus fought, they battled on multiple planes of existence simultaneously spread across time and space, using metaphors and symbolism as weapons. Now Horus could still be physically attacked and hurt, as evident by John Grammaticus knocking him on his ass using a Nouncia, or the Emperor bashing in his brains with the crown. And Sanguinius would probably still be able to land a few hits, but even hectic wounds Horus would quickly regenerate from. Like the Emperor fucked up Horus multiple times in their fight, as I mentioned, even smashing his brains out, and it only took seconds for Horus to heal from those. So even if Sanguinius clutches a hectic spear through chest, sword through face attack on god mode Horus, Horus would simply heal. The only thing that could kill Horus was the special Athame knife that Alanius gave to the Emperor. Let's go one step further. Let's say that when Horus goes god mode and starts outclassing Sanguinius, Sanguinius says, fuck it, and goes full Black Rage mode, becoming the monster he'd always kept at bay, drawing in all the darkness of his legion into his mortal shell. In this theoretical, can Sanguinius win? Well look, I'm not Jimmy Workshop, however when a Blood Angel falls to the Black Rage, they genuinely become multiple times more powerful at the cost of their sanity and strategic sense. For Sanguinius, this would be even further boosted. He would launch himself at Horus with so much intensity, power, and rage that even Horus would be taken aback. He would rip, bite, tear, and claw at his brother, ripping off chunks of flesh and armor and doing a lot of damage to Horus's mortal shell. However, Horus would recover and would slay his brother. There is just no way around it, I'm afraid. God mode Horus was on an entirely different playing field. However, in this circumstance, at least his mortal shell would have taken some damage, which although he would heal from, may slow him down slightly when he had to face the Emperor. It's sad to say, but there genuinely wasn't a situation where Sanguinius could have genuinely beaten and killed Horus, unless he managed to surprise him at the start and kill him before Horus could activate God mode, but I feel like even if that happened, it would be like a Dark Souls boss fight with a second phase as opposed to a genuine kill. Horus was way more powerful than anyone predicted he would be. People in the lore were expecting a powerful Primarch on Warp Juice, kinda like what Liam and Russ faced when they dueled. A powerful but overall beatable Horus, a Horus that maybe 2 or 3 loyalist Primarchs could take down, or a Horus that Sanguinius may be able to slay and that the Emperor would certainly be able to slay. However, as soon as the Emperor and his men teleported on board the Vengeful Spirit, it became clear Horus was way beyond expectations. The Emperor wasn't planning on becoming the Dark King, he started doing it as a desperate last-ditch response to sensing how powerful Horus had become. In Sanguinius' visions, he didn't see some God mode Horus kill him, he saw his Primarch brother Horus kill him, so that was what he was going off. Horus deliberately obscured his power by giving himself dementia so that he was unreadable, and also he didn't take to the field most of the heresy. Alongside the fact that most of Horus's power only manifested during the later parts of the Siege of Terror, when chaos was flooding the Sol system. R.I.P. Sanguinius, you were a glorious golden retard. If you enjoyed the video and you want to support the channel, then join Dice Dioramas. Silver members and above will get a free Major Mini this month alongside their Dice badge and have a chance to take home this awesome 1/6 scale Abaddon, not to mention double entries on all boosts for this week only. Hit the subscribe button, hit the real subscribe button for more destined content. Join the Discord for more memes and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.